Hello, Nomads, and welcome to the Nomads of Fantasy podcast, episode 143. Wow, a lot of episodes. Joining me as always, I have Brandon.
I killed 4 of yours. You killed 40 of my family.
Oh, chills. And I also have Dave.
Welcome, passengers. Please prepare for departure. We hope you have a safe, pleasant, and delightful journey ahead. Thank you.
Aww.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. So you probably don't know what these quotes are from.
No.
This is
a generic name of a movie.
Oh yeah.
You don't know what that
this is a movie that came out last year, 2023. It is
That's 2 years ago.
It's 2025 there, guy.
Oh shit. Fuck. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Time's slipping away.
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, okay. It came out 2 years ago in 2023. It's a Hindi language film from across the pond, India. So we are going back to the deep well of Indian movies. We picked a more recent one that came out 2 years ago. I don't know what time is anymore, but it's called Kill.
Kill. Yeah.
It's just
Kill.
straight up
recommendation
just
from
kill.
the Discord.
Yes.
You'd
Discord.
like to join the
Yeah,
Discord.
somebody recommended this from our Discord. That's correct.
The
That's
nomadsoffantasy.com/Discord specifically.
Thank you.
Gotta plug that.
Probably our most active place if you're gonna get a hold. We are on there all day, every day.
Yes.
I would say it's a fairly small but active group.
Mhm.
Very open. People come in, just drop stuff, and
Everyone's
we
cool.
have somebody that passively listens to us. But once in a while, I think they must be from India themselves, and because we've just had like RRR and Bahubali and stuff, like some big hits
Yep.
from India and so forth. That audience has found our podcast, and somebody came in and dropped that off for us. So here we are. I mean, I think Jailer was the last one that was recommended to us.
Yep.
Mhm.
We
And now
watched Jailer.
This one,
And now Kill.
Kill.
I knew nothing about this movie going in. I don't know about you guys if you looked anything up or whatever.
I think I read like the Wikipedia synopsis of it, and it sounded like, oh, it's like an Indian Speed or John Wick on a train or something like that. I'm like, all right, it sounds cool.
Very simple premise, but I like sort of saw a little bit of the trailer before I watched it, and then I'm like, okay, let's just fucking go for a ride with this one. And a ride it is indeed. Specifically a train ride. Just right off the bat. Well, actually, before we get into impressions, I'll just give a quick plot summary, quick synopsis, because it is very quick. So, I mean, we have a main character. His name is Amrit Rathod, I believe is his name. Sorry, apologies if we botch the Indian names, because we will for sure.
Yes.
So, yeah, him and his bro over there, Viresh, are both commandos in the Indian army.
Yeah.
And basically, Rathod's girl, Talika, is getting engaged in arranged marriage.
I think they call her Tully, right?
Yeah,
As
right.
a nickname,
Yeah.
right?
Tully is
We
her
might say Tully,
is her nickname, but
Tully.
essentially, he's deployed. He gets the call, arranged marriage. He's like, okay, shit, I gotta go back and see her, try to fucking because she doesn't want any part of this arranged marriage. She just wants to be with him. So,
Right.
This is all to say that they end up on a train. And the train gets taken over by bandits, and hilarity ensues. That's really the plot of the movie.
Yeah, all these people are on the train, and that's what I wrote down. Because, like, I'll be honest, the opening few minutes is kind of like watching a made-for-TV soap opera.
I got that vibe.
They really
a little
kind
bit.
of made these characters. They really wanted you to kind of feel for their relationship, and I'm like,
100%.
I'm fine with that. But I was like, we don't start with an action scene, where I was really expecting, like, he's a commando, he's a highly trained professional, and he's supposed to be really good at his job. So is there going to be an action scene? No, we just go right into how they love each other.
Right.
But 12 minutes
and his
in
bromance with
is when
his
the movie
army
starts.
commando.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, and it's I don't know, just the dialogue in the movie seemed a lot looser than a lot of Indian movies that we usually watch. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't as
because this is
epic and dramatic and slow
definitely
motion-y.
there's no Bollywood going on here. There's no
No
dance
songs, no
numbers.
dance.
There's
Right,
no
exactly.
songs. There's nothing. There's just
No.
it's like Indian John Wick on a train. That's how I kind of boiled it down to when I made my wife watch a little bit
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah,
Wife meter did not stay awake for this one.
I could see that.
Unfortunately.
This is a bros bro movie. I feel
Definitely,
it's
yes.
very
Yeah.
action heavy focused, and
If you
it's
like
just
action
nonstop.
only,
Yeah,
then
nonstop,
yeah.
just fucking heart pounding, intense fight scenes. In a small enclosed space, which is pretty cool.
They do get
The
a
whole
lot of
setting is
use.
on the train. Essentially, like 90% of the movie's on a train. There's a little bit of time before,
That's the hook.
and then the rest of the
It's
movie is just all train.
95% on a train.
Yep.
And I think that alone is why you should watch this movie. I was thinking about how, like, I like this because we've all been trained to to indoctrinate into that style of filmmaking. When we watched RRR, that was like the first time the nomads watched an Indian film all the way through, and we were blown away how fun it was.
Yeah.
So then we watched other movies that director made before RRR, which is on Netflix. You should go watch it. And it's just so different from Western film or maybe movies that you would see from Germany or France or England. Just they have their own style. And yeah, singing and dancing is a big part of their filmmaking, which is why this one doesn't do that. I think that would be a good selling point for somebody if like, can I really watch this? Can I really watch an Indian movie? I would say you can. And this could be
This
an
is
easy one to get into
Oh,
because
100%.
it's just dudes with facial hair, mustaches,
uh-huh.
beards, fighting each other, and the action is good. You're thinking, well, no, surely they can't film action as good as Americans. No, they definitely can. There are things that happen in the third act of this movie.
Dude, there are
That
some
was just like
crazy
This
fucking
is just
scenes.
like
Yeah.
watching John Wick. Yeah, and I will say one more thing before if you guys want to kind of go into like your reaction
Yeah.
to it, but it's just this movie really is like there's a dial going on. I just feel like there's a dial going on where usually a movie will have a big thing happen that really makes you want to get our character to revenge. It doesn't follow a Western format when it comes to an action movie. It really is just kind of cranking it up little by little, kind of like a video game where like the stakes only get higher and
Right.
higher and higher. And it's not like, oh, this is the part where like he loses and then he's got to fight his way back at the very end. Like almost every movie does that. This movie has its ups and downs, but I'm constantly feeling like our guy is only getting stronger because of the things they do to him.
Oh,
This
yeah.
guy
And
is a
bloodier.
superhero by the time this movie, I mean, he's a superhero, but by the time this movie is over, like he should be dead, but he's
Oh,
not. So I'll
1000%.
just say that just watching it. If
Well,
you
Uh,
the ending is left up
Okay,
to
all right, we can talk about
interpretation.
it
Yeah.
at the end of this conversation. But
yes.
Dave, I want to hear you because I know you have a fun with these Indian movies, and seeing that this one doesn't have the singing and the dancing in it, and it really
Yeah,
just gave
it was
kind of like just the
like
action part.
it was as close to a straightforward like American action movie as like you could possibly get. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just a lot of like, knife fighting scenes and there's some twists and turns. I won't get into spoilers yet,
Right.
but
right. Yeah,
some
we'll save a little bit
some
for
shit
that.
happens in there where like like you said, it definitely is not the way that the Western films are made, where like, some story beats that they may have hit or not hit, I guess. But I thought, yeah, it was definitely fun, and it was nice that it was only what hour 40
Yeah.
in
Compared to the
time.
other
Like
Indian
it's
movies we've watched, all been
yeah, it's
like
like
three
half
It's
hours
of
only
long.
3 hours long. Yeah.
yeah, and this
Crazy.
one's just, I mean, it's like as straightforward as you can get. It's just a lot of action, a lot of stabbing and blood. If you're a
Hmm.
little squeamish, this is like gotta be probably the most violent Indian film ever made, I would assume.
Maybe. I don't know.
Be up
Unless
there.
unless you're thinking of like a horror movie, I don't know, but like there is some grotesque shit. They are not squeamish with the violence in this one.
I know. I was like, my wife was working on her computer, in the other room, and I'm in the living room.
Just have this on in the background. What the fuck's going on in there?
And the sound system on and subwoofer and all that stuff. So all she can hear is Indian dudes kind of yelling at each other, and a lot of like the sound of punching, the sound of heads hitting metal, the sound of
stabbing,
a knife,
gooshing,
instantly that. Yeah, and just like screaming and yelling, and I was just like, man, she must think like this is a very bizarre movie.
Yeah, right.
But I am literally little by little getting more and more on the edge of my seat because the action is getting more violent. And we can get to when we get to the more of the plot and like
yeah,
when we get into that, we can talk about some of the reasons why I was starting to act like that. But
yeah.
What about you, Eric? What were you thinking?
Yeah, general impressions for me. Like I said, I feel like I was similar when it first started. I went into this blind. I didn't know really what to expect. Started out a little bit slow, but obviously they had to set up the romance between Amrit and Tully.
So
yeah,
corny.
yeah, exactly.
So corny. I wrote that down. I'm like, this. It's like this acoustic.
Yeah, the music. Right. It did make it feel like soap opera-y, but like after they got onto the train, and like you realize that shit was about to go down, like like you said, the intensity throughout the movie just started cranking up and up and up, and yeah, I was like by the end of the movie, I was like invested in a lot of these characters on both sides of good and bad, which
I gotta hear this.
Yeah, I have some thoughts.
Things that happen later on.
Yes, exactly. And so yeah, it was a great ride, great action flick, and it is very intense. Like there's no real like breaks or anything throughout this movie. They just keep fucking ratcheting it up.
Maybe like a brief one later
a quick
on.
Interstitial
flashback.
There's a flashback, yeah.
Like,
but like, yeah, man, it's just they just crank it up throughout the entire movie. So yeah, it was hard to like turn away or like get bored because they didn't really give you time to do that. They just keep going. But I will say we could I don't know, we can go get into spoiler territory a little bit, but like probably the greatest the greatest late title card in a movie ever.
I wrote
it down 45 minutes
fucking
into the movie.
Awesome.
Yes.
I love that so much.
I was like, oh, we're not doing a title for this movie? Okay, and I forgot about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's so good about it.
Train, and it just gets more and more intense. And then the biggest thing happens in the movie, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? And then that title comes out, I'm like,
this is the fucking movie.
That's something like Tarantino
that's the switch flipping.
That's the switch.
Basically,
that's the kill switch.
He's going from non-lethal to fucking fully lethal. Like combat.
Dude. I love
that. Before really
he was
cool.
That was awesome.
He was being nice and just like cracking dudes' skulls like Batman, but then like
after, he even says
after the title card,
he says to his friend like, why did you when his friend there kills that first guy, the dude's dad or whatever, one of the bandits' dad, or well, they're all family, which is kind of a cool concept. But
also hold on, let's get into this real quick. Quick. There are 3 groups in this movie. So we have the main hero, Emmett, right?
Amrit, yeah.
Amrit, and then his awesome buddy with the sweet sweater and mustache.
What's
mustache,
his name?
Yeah, his name is Viresh.
Viresh. Okay, so those guys are their own group. They're together. They're calling each other bro. They've been with each other. They got each other's back. They are an awesome duo. Now, then there's Tully and her family, right?
Yep.
And there's like 5, 7, 8 of them on the train as well. Just happens to be on the train, which is fine.
And it's important to know that her dad is like super like
he's a tycoon.
Business tycoon.
Loaded.
Yep.
Yeah. And he right. But then there's also these guys, they're thieves.
Banditos.
They're called they just call themselves bandits, thieves, whatever.
They're the descendants of thugs
train
or
robbers,
something like that, right? But yeah, they're train robbers, right? And they're shaking it down, and then they discover, oh shit, we got basically royalty.
We hit the
dwells
fucking
on here.
jackpot, yeah.
So doesn't go down well, and so you have these three. I want to call them factions, but these three groups, and they're all there for certain different reasons, but they kind of are our group. And when the thieves make the first move, they kill like the bodyguard of the tycoon, of the rich guy, that giant man, right?
Yeah.
They killed him
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
in the throat. So that's why the one commando kills like the uncle, because
Right.
it's like
Blood for
my
blood.
blood is out, and he's like he's in his switch is already activated. He's ready in kill mode,
I thought
and
they're
he
gonna kill
went
the
too far
mom.
real quick.
Right.
Instead of subduing and controlling it, he escalated.
I mean,
It was
he's
the
not.
opposite.
Well, I
Our
feel
hero
like
called him out.
when he made the first kill on that side of things, like he was. It was a different situation because that was more just like self-defense. That was not like
It was self-defense, but looking at what he could do later on, like he has a lot of control over what he did.
Yeah.
He went right into killing that guy.
But like, yeah, I mean, even
I didn't have a problem with it.
No.
They started it.
No, like we were saying, and in the beginning of the movie, Amrit says like to him, like, "Hey, we didn't have to kill that guy. We could have just, tied him up and contained him." So like he's all like for non-violence, not trying to escalate the situation more than they have to, even though on their side they had already committed the first kill. So it's
They get very, for bandits, they get very like, obviously they're all family now, but like they are very emotional whenever I don't know why they're so surprised that their people are getting killed, because you're robbing a train. Like,
well, I think it.
Yeah, but because of robbers,
somebody's gonna die at some point. Like, you
Yeah.
can't like.
Well,
I'd be
I
shocked about that shit.
I just think they probably up to this point they were probably just used to like going on the train, getting all their shit and getting out like with no casualties. Like nobody ever fought back. That's the impression that I get anyways. And then like this fucking crazy, they like, oh shit, there's like special ops fucking army dudes
commando.
on this. Yeah.
Commando.
There's special ops fucking army dudes on this train.
Yeah, they got challenged.
Yeah, exactly. So
But I think that's like the cool part about it is that these bad guys, typically you don't like the guys who start it and start killing, like you should not like them. But
yeah.
you do feel a little, and I wish maybe there's one point I would take away from this movie is like giving us a little bit more of why they're doing what they're doing. Give us just like a little bit more of what's their why. I thought that was coming, but it never did. It leaned into our hero and like his his story and what he's trying to accomplish. And I just feel like, man, they really want us in the third act to really feel for these guys. And I kind of do through their acting.
Yeah, like
when they are family.
Right, when
like,
when he strings up all the bodies in that one train car, like they are just like mourning.
What a fucking cool scene.
I know, like that scene for me was like I did feel for them in that moment because like they are all family. So, and the cool thing is like if you compare this to another.
Well, hold on. We're talking about a scene that probably makes no significance to anybody listening here, but we're gonna give it. Here's the big thing: we were talking about how our hero is trying not to escalate things,
right?
But the one guy on the other side was so like mad at that girl or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Fanny.
Power.
Fanny, that guy, he was a good
trip.
villain.
Fanny.
Good villain, great villain. But he kills her because she's trying to defend herself and he won't let it go. So he kills her, knowing how powerful this guy and how it's gonna. It's just a.
He doesn't know how powerful. He doesn't know that he's gonna snap like that. Like I guess they fought a little bit, but
he kills her in a very brutal way.
Yeah.
And that's what triggers our hero. And that's when she's killed and thrown off the train, that's when the title comes. And that's when our guy becomes the villain almost, because he's not just killing these guys.
No, he's out for blood.
Like ruining their lives. He's just like, I'm going to string them up so you see what I've done. And he's going against, this is one guy against 30 plus guys.
Right.
So,
and yeah, like you said, well, back to what I was going to say about that scene. Because yeah, there's the one scene in the movie where he kills a bunch of their dudes and he takes their bodies and strings them up by like bed sheets in one of the train cars, and then the other bandits come in and see all this stuff, and then their
brothers, cousins, dads, uncles to them.
Right, exactly, and they're fucking so distraught over it, which I thought was very cool. And so what I was gonna say before was that like in any other action movie, like your John Wicks or your Die Hards or whatever,
Bad guy.
the bad guys they're killing are just fucking random grunts, but like everybody, all the bandits have like names. You know, names associated with them and relationships with other bandits. Like, this is this person's dad. This is this person's uncle. This is their son. Like, so like that makes it much more impactful when that, especially when that scene hits, and they're all like, you know, they're all mourning the death of their family members. So like it did make me feel for them, and it was a smart way to get you to sort of empathize with the villains in this movie a little bit, even though they were doing some shitty stuff. Yeah, but
they are the bad guys.
They are the
it's
bad
just nice
guys.
to see that they are humans
Exactly.
still, and
Exactly.
even they, because like you, I mean, I'm not saying like we got to defend the bad guys in the world or in movies or anything like that, but just imagine seeing a scene where like a stormtrooper, we almost got that with the new Star Wars movies where Finn held another stormtrooper like, this is a guy that I've been training with. Like, this is a guy I joked around with at lunch, and he's dying in front of me. Just seeing like, yeah, these are stormtroopers. They're not good guys at all. They work for the Empire. They do bad things, but they still feel, and it's a nice touch.
And
I think this movie did a great job, and I would like to see that more in movies, quite honestly.
Everybody's the bad guy in somebody else's story.
yeah, that's true.
In life, in
that's
general.
the problem with the world today is that we just think, oh, they're bad. They're all bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they suck. They all suck. That's not
They
how
do
the thing
have-
is. It's like
they got
they have
feelings
feelings.
and-
There's
yeah.
gray.
And like,
It's like some of those guys are just like for the ride. That one guy is crazy, and they're all
Right.
just like, we should stop doing this. Let's leave now. He ended up, it's like, no, let's keep fighting till they all die.
right. So like, Fanny, whatever you want to call him. His dad was like the ringleader of this whole group, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's interesting from that perspective because you can tell like they've been doing this for a long time. It's essentially like the family business. So like this is how they get by. This is what they do.
Right.
So like I think it would have been better if, and I could empathize with them more if they had like a code of like saying like, okay, we don't kill anyone, we just go in and fucking you know, get the shit and get out. But that wasn't really the case. They kind of were all like just flipping about.
There's nothing
stabbing
redeemable
people.
about them.
Yeah.
Fanny
Except
is
for that one scene
that dude's
that
an
they had
asshole.
feelings.
He's a psychopath.
Like the kid with the
That's
car.
hilarious,
Oh,
though.
he's nice to the kid. Oh, so later on he sees the kid. What does he do? I'll kill this fucking kid. Like,
Right,
dude,
come on.
like this is your chance to show that, like, oh, I have a kid too. I know what it's like to fight for things that you love.
Right, exactly.
You know, sometimes we're just on the wrong side of the fight. Okay, now I could, but instead, they could have shown
And-
a flashback with being a dad himself.
The commentary about who's the actual villain would have been stronger too if
Exactly.
the villains were more redeemable, you know. So
Yep. Right. Exactly. And I thought it was coming for the most part. I was like, it is so important that because some of these guys, literally, there's like 40 villains, and some of these guys are like, know that their dad might be dead. And the thing is, it was cool is because it's on a train. In the very back are the bad guys, in the very front middle are the good guys, and they've separated everybody. But some of them still have good people with the bad guys as hostage and stuff like that. So there's a big mix. But every time the bad guys go in to like take more of, like take him out or take people or take over, they get their own guys kind of separated, and he'll send one alive back to threaten to communicate. You know, like stop, whatever, all the stuff.
Tell them I'm coming for her.
Yeah, and I'm coming for them and shit like that. But they're like, "Is my dad? Where's my dad?" So a lot of these guys throughout the whole movie are trying to just get to their dads, and when they do find them, they're dead. And yeah, it kind of falls a little flat because like they could have done a little more for us to just feel for like. I was hoping that this movie would turn out where this guy's like the main hero is actually a bad guy.
yeah,
And I was trying to train my brain to watch these guys be the good guys actually, and it never happened because the way the story goes is like, oh no, they are just the bad guys, and he is the good guy.
Right.
So how about the action scenes?
dude.
Let me hear you guys. Some of your guys' favorite kills.
I was gonna say
best.
there's some awards that I want to give out for this movie. There's like
I want to hear them. They're probably the same ones I wrote.
best kill. Brandon, you mentioned best facial hair in the Discord. Just best bandit overall. Best bromance because there's a couple of them. But best kill definitely. There's a ton to talk about here. I mean, there's some brutal ones. when he's fucking
Yeah,
smashing the
the
dude's
last
head in with the
and kills him.
fire extinguisher.
Fire hydrant.
He sticks the fire
Oh,
extinguisher in the dude's
when
mouth
he
and
switched.
chokes him with the fucking. That was
Yes.
fucked up.
The one guy with the Zippo fuel puts
Oh,
the
yeah.
Zippo fuel in his mouth and sets his
Oh,
head
the
on
dad.
fire.
Yeah, right.
That was the dad.
Yeah,
That was the leader.
That one was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was pretty. Yeah,
There's
the
some CG ones
one
that
guy
were
got
pretty
like his
nasty.
throat. They kind of did this in the dark, but like he basically cut his whole
He was
head.
like half
off.
His
decapitated.
head
Yeah.
was off.
And then he left him for the one guy to come around. He's like, "Ugh," and then he kills that guy. Dude, yeah, those were really good ones. Yeah, the fire extinguisher was really gross. I was like, oh, I could not imagine being in that position right now.
Yeah.
That's
Just like there's a lot of grabbing onto handrails and like jumping up and kicking dudes like across the way.
Right.
yeah.
You know,
It's
just,
cool.
like,
They use the
full
space, the small,
throws.
tight space, really well in the
I
fight
wrote
scenes.
that
It's
down
like-
too.
And you can see
Tight
with
space,
the
you
way
can
that
never
they
go wrong with high action tight spaces.
where they flip the camera angles a lot too, because you know you'll see it from like the side of it, then you'll see it from the hall, and then you'll see like the choreography in this one was pretty fantastic.
Yeah. Definitely took
way
some inspiration from what the fuck is it? Oh, why can't I think of the movie now? The one with the hallway scene. Why I'm blanking on the name of the movie we watched.
Old Boy.
Old Boy, yes. I don't know why I couldn't
Old
think of Old
Boy.
Boy. But I mean,
That's-
old
this
didn't have
movie
that
was one of
exact
those long
shot,
take
but
ones.
right, but there was some like Dave, you were saying those like from the side angle, him going down those narrow hallways and just fucking taking out a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, those were cool. Anytime the camera was out of the train and we're trying to follow them along from cart to cart, I thought
Like
that was
through the
really cool.
windows. Yeah, those are really cool.
Yeah, I thought like, man, I just love a good shot, you know, because like they can't all be inside the train.
Yeah.
So I like when we
And-
leave it, but we're still at the train,
Right.
you know. So I
And like
thought it was-
for such a small space, you got to come up with interesting camera angles and interesting. You can't just fucking
point, yeah.
see down a train car the whole movie. So yeah, they definitely did some cool camera work.
Oh, I was thinking of not the kills, but there's a certain tension. I don't know. You don't get a lot of movies on trains these days. But there's that like Snowpiercer kind of thing where they have like the rich people up front and the poor
yeah, it was
people in the
weird
back.
movie. It's worth watching
might-
just because it's
This might tail into the game that I have set up for us later, but just
Ooh,
okay.
movies with trains
Ah.
in them.
All right.
okay.
I do like it. There's that tension though because you got like the bad guys on one train and the good guys on the other side, and you know that there's like with the train, there's nowhere to go except for like
Right.
into each other. You got one path, and you got people on either end of the spectrum.
One thing I thought was fucking weird. What? So there's like the guy, I don't know, the conductor, I guess, eventually, because remember they set the fire on the train to get the attention at the station, right?
Yeah.
So like, was the conductor and those like police officers on the train the whole time, and they didn't know any of this was going on? They were just like
Like,
sleeping.
we're not stopping.
Right. They were just sleeping. Like like
They're sitting up
I
front. I,
wrote
think
that
they
down
locked
too,
the door.
and I'm like,
and they like they stopped the train a couple of times to let people off or to let people on with like the emergency brakes. Like they didn't notice that either. Like
I think that's just low level writing. I think that this is an action movie, and that scene's there to be like,
It was
oh
just
yeah, this is
weird.
what's been going on. They're
because like
sleeping. It's pretty dumb.
right, because like
Pretty dumb.
they set the fire and then the station must have called the train and was like, oh shit, there's a fire on your train. You better go check it out. And then,
I assumed that they were killed and somebody was taking it over in the front, but
no, that wasn't the
showed them,
case.
it's
They were
like,
just like
what?
chilling up there. Like
Yeah,
okay,
they were
with
all
their-
sleeping.
Fucking muskets. Like, what kind of fucking guns, security guns
Like
are those? You got
bayonets.
like a
I know.
6-foot long
You
gun
don't want
with a bayonet
pistol?
on the front of it. No, pistols
Yeah,
are silly.
Hey, slow down.
especially for a
You got this
train,
big
you
ass
can't even
bolt action
navigate
gun, you
it.
gotta to load it after one shot. You only get one shot, and you got to reload.
I know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys weren't very
I thought
much
that
use.
was
but-
no, I thought that was kind of silly, but like you said, it's probably just an effect of the writing that they didn't know any of this shit was going on their train apparently. But
You figured, yeah, security would be walking up and down the train technically if it's a normal.
right,
I
exactly.
don't know. I don't ride on trains.
They were just
very often.
sleeping in the fucking captain's car. I'm like, okay, cool.
Speaking of trains, I've never been on a train long enough to need to sleep. Is that what trains do? They have like these beds like that, like little
I mean, it
Yeah.
depends
cots.
how long your train
Something like
ride
that?
is. This one seemed like it was
Okay.
a long one. I forgot where they said
Couple
it
hours.
was. Yeah, I forgot where they said it
New
was
We were
Delhi,
to.
going to Delhi or something. I
New
don't know.
Delhi. I think they
Yeah,
were going to.
but like, yeah, like every train car had like a fucking bunks, and like seats below. But I've actually never been on a train. Well, not on a passenger train, but I've been on. It's like
That was a cool. I
Or
always
like
wanted
action
hold
to
one
train.
because
for everybody gets
Amtrak.
in to meet Santa at the end
Yeah,
or something like
exactly.
that.
That's those are the ones that I've been on. But yeah, no, I've never been on a passenger train before.
Right.
Amtrak still does run in the U.S.
Yeah,
those
they do.
trains with the sleeping carts on them. It's like if you want, like
Okay.
they do certain runs for like you start in San Francisco and you go up through the Colorado Rockies and you get off there or something like that. Like they have like certain specific scenic routes where you can
Yeah,
rent a room and you
That'd be
just
cool to do when you're like retired.
hang
You
out and
know,
play board games and
let's
look
go
out
on
the
a train.
window. Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck it. You got a train ride. Who
work
gives a
on
shit?
Curse of the Golden
I
Idol.
was gonna say,
You
yeah,
know,
bring your Switch, bring a
Colorado.
charger.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Oh, that'd be
that'd
cool.
be
Seems like a
dope.
fun way to
Honestly,
go.
Yep,
that would be sweet.
that would be cool.
You know what they should do is have trains, and they just have like Dungeons and Dragons people, and it's all Dungeons and Dragons people playing, or Magic the Gathering, or like Switch tournaments,
Ooh,
or like
like those
band member, like
cruises.
people can
Yeah,
musicians
party
can go on there.
train.
You could just yeah, just have people just go from state to state, while hanging out with each other and just like rocking out doing those things. I think that'd be
That would be
Yeah,
pretty
you
sweet.
stop at like Indianapolis, you pick up a whole new group of
yeah.
players or whatever. Some players get off and it's just the game train.
The game train. All right,
Yeah,
back to
trains are
the.
cool. It's a cool
It
plot.
is
No, it's a
very,
cool plot. Just
and
like trains,
it's
just they're
yeah,
interesting.
it's a unique setting too. But I was
Forces you to be creative. I thought that was a good point too, because it's like the bad guys are back here, the good guys are up here, and like the camera's got to go and do these different angles and ideas, and I don't know. I think it's like refreshing.
yeah,
But
yeah,
we're suckers for like a unique plot. We're like, all right, most of the movies in this one spot, and then this is where the story happens.
yeah,
So it's
definitely.
usually it goes over well with us, anyways.
I was trying to think
So
of
I was excited for this one.
my favorite one of the bandits, and I think my favorite one was the big fucking guy, City, I think was his name. He
Yeah.
just kept fucking coming back, and he was like, well, Amrit was taking out all these other fucking low level guys, and it felt like a video game where he comes up and he's like the heavy, he's like the fucking boss.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, here he comes.
Yeah, you gotta wait for his to like, oh, it's turning flashing red. He's gonna do a, unblockable move. I
Right.
gotta like
Dodge
get
out of the way. Well, because yeah, he was trying to like block his punches, and he was breaking through his guard every time just because he's a fucking bruiser. But
Yeah,
no, I liked him.
Came in with a
he-
blindside like kick to Amrit's face or whatever, and you get like the ear ringing.
Oh,
So you get
yeah.
nice little touch there.
Well, he fought him
Yeah,
like
he was
three.
fucked.
He fought him like three different times too. And
yeah.
then
Each time you think they're gonna kill each other, then they don't.
And then
Even when they're training,
what finally took the fucking big guy out was those old
Oh,
ladies. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
like give me. Well, and this was
with a
really
fucking
interesting.
hammer, like that was nasty.
Oh yeah.
So I was waiting for the hammer to be used because it was behind the glass, and it's like for emergencies only a hammer. But
That was an
um,
emergency.
but what was interesting was Amrit picks up a couple more people to protect, and they want to go with him to get vengeance. They want to get in on the fight. Like
Right.
we lost one of our sons
Yeah.
because we didn't do anything. We didn't help you. We need to get involved and help before more die. But there's this dude with like a sweater vest. It's like I'm not much to look at, but I know what I'm doing. And they're like, okay. So he goes with them. He's actually one of the bad guys.
Yeah. He was
You notice
he was
that?
yeah.
He's
They show him in the
He
beginning.
came in a group earlier when they said like,
Oh, I
"Oh,
didn't
we
recognize that.
escaped.
Oh.
We escaped
Yeah.
the people. We want to get back to the train." And they
He was
snuck
the,
like two of the bad guys back into the good part of the train.
He was the tech
Okay.
guy. Remember in the beginning where they had like the router and the jammer for all the cell phones?
Okay, that was him.
That was him who set that
I
up.
totally forgot.
Yep.
There's so many characters. So yeah, so he's mixed in with them, and when the big guy is about to kill our hero, that guy has the hammer, and they said kill this guy, and he's like he freezes, and I'm like, oh, he froze. He doesn't want to do. He can't. So the women grab it, and then she goes and puts it in the back
Bam.
of that guy's head, or right in the top of his head, and he's out at that point. But all right, that makes sense because he's one of them, so he couldn't kill his own guy,
Right.
so he couldn't give it up. So she took it, but then he's just like, "Oh my god, my cousin just died in front of me," or something like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know. I forgot that he was one of them. But he gets killed. He gets killed later on, like when it's all dark, right? Because the movie gets darker, visually
The
darker and
one
darker and darker
jumping off
till
the train, was he with
was he
that
one of the
group?
people
Like,
that jumped?
I don't know. I don't remember how he
I don't know
ended.
if he. Yeah, I think he might
But
was.
they jumped and they splattered blood
Yeah.
on him. He's like, "Ugh."
Right. He's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not fucking jumping. Which I mean, what did you expect to happen if you jump out of a fucking train that's
It's a super
going?
train too. It's not like a
Right. It's going
35
like
mile
100
an
miles an hour.
Yeah, you're snapping your neck and everybody. If you any other part of something, you're toast.
Right. Well, what's
Um,
worse? I guess you're gonna die anyways by getting maimed by a fucking omelet coming down the hallway.
Yeah, he's not killing. Yeah, I saw the last way 9 people died. It's not.
It's not. It's not instant. It's not painless.
Oh, there was
Nope.
one shot that I thought was really cool too. Going back to the bad guys feeling sympathy for them, when the giant guy, what was his name again? The really big guy you were talking.
City. Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Said he was trying to look for like whoever his dad or whatever.
Yeah.
When he's
His
walking,
dad. Yep.
there's a big spot of blood from somebody, and he's like won't walk on it, and he walks around it.
Mhm.
You know,
It
I
happens a
thought
couple,
like,
like once or twice in the movie.
yeah, it's just a nice touch. It's like I can't walk in the blood of my cousin, my brother.
Mhm.
Could be my dad's blood or something like that. So he's kind of being respectful a little bit there. So I thought those things were really nice. Yeah, that character I kind of liked him. Like he's a bad guy, he's trying to kill, but like he also just feels like the big brother to everybody, and he's
Right.
like the protector of them, and he means a lot to them. So, and we saw him cry when he was holding his dad. So I don't know, like I kind of felt for these guys. I wish the story gave us a little more
Same.
on them,
Yeah.
but whatever.
I
It's
think
very
that.
very beginning of Die Hard when they're setting up their stuff and taking over the train
Yeah,
or
they're
whatever.
all
I
guys.
guess that
Everybody in position.
everybody got their plans or whatever. And rob this motherfucker.
Right. Which I was also a little disappointed that all they were doing was robbing the train. Like I thought they were planning something bigger. Like there was
We're
something.
gonna blow it up into the
Right.
the
There was
capital
something
or something.
important on the train, like that they were trying to get,
Common thieves.
or like stuff like that. But no, they're like, okay, we're just gonna rob this random train. I'm like, okay, that's fine, I guess.
Steal
But
some wallets and jewelry and be on your way.
I guess it's more about like they sort of were in the wrong place at the wrong time. They didn't know what they were walking into, with these two dudes that
Could
fucked them
you
up.
make an American movie of this? And who would you cast to do this?
Chris Pratt.
No,
No, I'm just kidding.
no, absolutely not.
Right? Chris Pratt and Keanu
It would have
Reeves.
to, yeah, it would have to be someone who's jacked, who you can believe that he would be able to pull all this shit off, and who has like a dark side to him.
Who plays the Witcher and Superman? What's his,
Henry Cavill. Oh, I could see
yeah.
Henry Cavill in this role.
Get
yeah.
Henry in there.
for
He's
sure.
a
Not
big boy
bad.
too.
It's not
That's
bad.
actually-
All
I
who'd
like
you give
that.
for a side- Who'd be his number 2, the sidekick then?
We gotta get somebody
Ooh.
with a mustache.
A little bit funnier, a little bit like
Kevin Hart.
more lighthearted. I would not that funny.
Yeah, like
I'm
a
thinking
little-
like a fucking Ryan Gosling or something.
He's too pretty, but
I could.
he could do.
Yeah, they're too handsome of guys to be commandos. It's got to be an
That's
everyday
true.
looking guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, what about the guy that played Hawkeye?
Jeremy Renner?
Yeah. Throw
Ah.
Renner in there. Give him a mustache. He'd be
No,
good.
Michael B. Jordan. How about that
Ooh,
for
I don't
the
wanna see
main
Michael
guy?
die, though.
No, for the main
Oh,
for the main
guy?
character. Yeah,
Yeah, he would be good.
yeah. That's
He's,
I like
he's
that one.
jacked enough too.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't like the thing I shitted at in this movie is when Talika gets murdered on this, because like
yeah.
we're used to Western movies and like they don't like, hey, we're gonna murder the good guy's
Mhm.
girlfriend in front of him, like on the train. Like that part, like she got
Just
stabbed.
propose to her. Surely she can't die.
Right.
Yeah. She gets stabbed
Well,
Well,
once
she
in the front.
foreshadowed it. Do I have to die for you to fall in love with me or something like that? For you to
Yeah.
marry me or whatever it was?
Maybe I
And
was
see
just
how it flips at the end though, because he's gonna have to die to be with her. So
maybe I was just
He's
sorry.
so the final shot.
Hold on, before we talk about that.
yeah.
Maybe I was just blinded by, I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying too much attention, but I was not expecting Tulika to die. Like,
No.
I feel like they telegraphed it pretty well. Like Brandon was saying, they kind of foreshadowed it, but like it still was surprising to me. I thought this movie was gonna play out differently and I guess more boring. Like I thought it was just gonna be like, okay, he rescues her in the end, and then happily ever after they live happily ever
The bad
after.
guy's gonna have her, and
Right.
he's gonna kill.
That's what I thought was
her.
gonna kidnap her, and he's gonna have to go rescue her and her family, and then they live happily ever after. But no, I'm not happy that she died, but I'm glad that they went that way. There was a bit of a twist there.
Halfway into the movie, you like rooting for her, and she's like getting away, and they just got to get the sister, and that stuff, and we'll be good to go. And he'll find a way to protect them all, anyways. If the dad hadn't died at this point, we're good.
Yep.
But then, yeah, she's not only killed, like she's. Like,
it was brutal, man.
Slaughtered.
Yeah.
It was pretty, yeah. The second stabbing was like bad, and I'm like, all right, maybe she's not coming back. And then she gets the one in the neck, and I'm like,
and then she gets thrown off the train.
Yeah.
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
And then like that was like when the movie
watch.
started getting more violent with her like in the neck and stuff like that. But then our guy does not just kill people. Yes, we were talking about some of those wild kills where he's using like things to, but for the other people, they're getting killed by being stabbed in the stomach, and he's so angry. He's keeping the knife in their gut, and he's pulling it up in them. Or if he stabs them in the neck, he goes all the way till it like goes through their mouth.
Dude, and then
one guy got it through the mouth.
Yeah, he threw the knife.
One guy got it in the eye.
Yep. He threw the knife into the guy's throat, and then he pounds it in further.
Yeah, he kicks it in.
Like,
oh yeah, that's right.
Beating the shit out of other people. I'm like, what the fuck?
He goes from like killing people to like butchering them and like letting them feel as much pain before they die.
It's hard
when the villain says like you killed 40 of my family in the most violent way. Like you're a monster.
Right, exactly.
4 people.
Like that's where I struggle a little bit with this movie because like
what's the message?
Right. By the end
it's not a message.
We could talk about the ending because it's
bad guys are bad.
It's a weird tonal shift at the end. Because like you said, he kills Fanny. They have the whole altercation where he says the thing where you killed all your monster or whatever. He kills Fanny.
Yeah.
But then it like
that was a nasty one.
At the end it's sort of like I said, it's a tonal shift because everything's resolved now that all the bad guys are dead, and like he gets off the train, and it's like you're supposed to be rooting for him, but at that point I'm like not. I don't know. I'm like
he wiped out an entire.
He just murdered 40 people.
Men.
For I mean, I get he was upset and he was sad about his
an officer
fiance
or
dying, but
you understand that you sacrifice the few for the many kind of thing.
Right.
It's like that logic. Like how many people have to die for this death or something like that. Right.
So
I know, and you're supposed to root for him because he's bad guys.
Exactly.
But like they all didn't do it. They happened to be part of it. But even they were like, "Yo, we need to get out of it. We need to get out of here." And then the dad and the son were like, "No, we gotta." Don't you? They needed to kill everybody for different reasons. The one was because it's our family and like we gotta take over because we're in this.
Yep.
And the dad's like, "No, we need to kill them because if the tycoon guy gets off this train, we're all good as dead because he's rich and powerful." Yeah. So like they had different reasons.
They were conflicting,
but,
yeah. I struggle a little bit at the end there where it's like everything was resolved and like he killed everybody and like, okay, cool, yay, now they're all saved, but did he really have to slaughter all those people to do it?
Right. Yep. Well, he got stabbed a lot too, so the unresolved part, I guess, is where he's sitting on the bench and he's like gladiator, having hallucinations of his girlfriend and yada yada yada. Like, does he just die there? Because in that final fight, he did get stabbed like 6 or 7 times.
I think he dies on that bench because I think he's seeing the image of
EMTs come to him.
Right, he's seeing the image of Tulika as he's dying, essentially. Like now they can be together because
And nobody wanted to check on him.
right.
Like they just
That's
walked
what I
by,
thought
like,
was weird too. Like all the like official like officers and paramedics and whoever else was there at the end, they were all rushing past him onto the train. Nobody stopped to be like, "Yo, are you okay?"
It'd be like,
like,
yeah,
is it a
don't bring
dream? Is
any.
he dying?
You don't need stretchers on the train because I literally like cut dudes' heads off and like fucking the one where the guy's like sitting on the
Oh,
ground
right.
and he puts his foot on his head and he snaps his neck
Oh, yeah.
forward, and you
Oh,
can see
See
like
the
his
bone
spine
popping out?
coming out of the back of his neck.
Oh, dude, that's right.
I'm like,
Dude,
oh my god.
the news the next day would be like, military hero slaughters 40 men
Yeah, it's
in
a
the most
massacre.
brutal. Well,
Right.
how brutal? I heard that when they got there were bodies hanging from the ceiling on the train. Yeah. Like, this is the guy, this is our hero. Like,
Right.
you'd be like, there needs to be a movie after this movie if this guy survives. Like, trial? Are you being questioned? Like, what was the
Well,
limit of
that's the same
self-defense?
thing
Do we
in
have an
John Wick
issue with military
movies.
soldiers? Are we this violent? You know?
John Wick beats the shit out of people and then they kill his puppy and then he goes on murder rampages and he kills every single person even though they
Right.
have nothing to do
Oh,
with killing his
Yep.
puppy. It's
Uncharted.
fucking
You're
Theon
Unchar-
you're
Greyjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
slaughtering
I was gonna just bring that
so
up.
many people. You're killing so many people in video games.
Well, yeah.
You
Well,
crazy.
it's interesting because, like, I mean, you bring up Uncharted. Like, Last of Us does that in an interesting way because they do question, like, you know,
The
is Joel a
the
fucking monster because he went in and killed all these people
right,
to save Ellie? So that's the kind of,
right.
you know, viewpoint
That's
I'm coming
the
from.
story.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I don't know if I should be rooting for this guy, man. He's a fucking monster. Like he is. He just slaughtered all those people.
He's got a very special set of skills.
Yeah, exactly.
And he
Yeah, I
used
think
them to
anybody
their
listening to
fullest.
this and that hasn't seen the movie yet, even though we kind of gave away a lot of the part, but like if you want to check this movie out, yeah, think about that. Like, is this something we should root for? I mean, the story really wants us to by the time
Mm-hmm.
it's about a love and revenge, and like, yes, we get that. But at what cost? And we've seen that in other things before, like how many people have to die for you to get what you want, kind of thing.
Right,
And
exactly.
it's just like that's what you want because this bad thing happened to you. But it's like it actually is like when they say you live long enough, you die a hero, or you live long enough to be the villain. Like if he would have died early on in this movie, a hero just killing a couple people to like
Mm-hmm.
revenge her, it would have been like a wash. You know, it's violent to say, but like all right, eye for an eye kind of thing. But he wiped out 40 dudes.
Right.
Well, 39. His mustache man got one or two.
You know, but like because he wanted that
Yeah.
woman to be avenged,
Hey,
and
he's seeing red.
today. That's like the world we're in. It's just like how many people have to fight for the sins of your fathers. Like some of these people are born into wars. It's just like it's going on and on and on. Like yes, I get it. You blew up a building. You blew up a school. You raped that woman. You tarred that person. Like I get it. It's all bad on both sides. Blood on both sides. But like, when does it end? If there's not an end, if you're gonna just keep killing each other, like
Can't we all
it's
just
like
get along?
Timmy said in South Park, like come on, just
Chana!
man, you know, like
Yeah, it's
come on.
true.
Like,
I did appreciate this
That was
movie.
Jimmy.
I did
Timmy
appreciate
just
this
says,
movie.
"Chana!"
no, Jimmy
Yeah,
says.
Jimmy.
Yeah, I said yeah.
I'm saying Timmy. Timmy's
Timmy-
the one that
Timmy's in the wheelchair. Jimmy has the crutches.
Oh, Jimmy.
Yeah.
It
Sorry,
was Jimmy.
Jimmy's the
They
one that
gotcha.
says
Jimmy the whole
They
time.
gotcha. Timmy.
so fucking good, dude. So funny.
Anyway, last thing. I mean, we could wrap up here. Since we're getting a little long, but last thing I will say, yeah, I do appreciate this movie because I mean, at its face value, it presents itself as just a straight action movie. So that's sort of what I was expecting. So I'm glad that they put a little bit more into it than just, you know, straight fucking John Wick style action, you know. So like even though that it's still a little bit messy and unclear about who you're supposed to root for, it at least makes you think a little bit more about it
That's
than just watching.
entertaining. We might, I don't know. Are we thinking too hard on it? Are we just supposed to be
I
like, whoa,
don't.
look,
I
look
think.
at all this cool stuff?
I don't
think we
think
are.
so. I don't think so. I think they intentionally
we are.
wanted us to question.
Think
To
so?
yeah. To
And why did they
raise
do
these
some of the
questions.
things they did?
If they didn't want us to think that, they wouldn't have.
Producers got in the way. No, that's not what people want to see. Get the cute woman at
Well,
the end and have them sit on the bench.
If they didn't want us to think that, I don't think they would have tried to like humanize these villains. I think they would have just made them faceless fucking bad guys who were just killing for no reason. And I mean, they were killing for no reason, but like, they wouldn't have made them this tight knit family that was mourning over the loss of each other. Like, you don't see
the
that.
whole time they're crying.
Yeah, you don't see that in other action
Whoa,
movies. Like,
I
fucking
know,
grunt
I
number
know.
one gets murdered, and grunt number two is not standing over his body crying.
Right? They remember when they did that in Die Hard. The one brother gets killed, and he's like, "Who did it?"
Right.
And that's it.
Exactly.
That's it. He's like instantly mad. He's like, "Hold on, patience." Stick
Right.
to the plan."
There's no moment of like, this is my
"Why? We gotta
fucking
get his
brother and he's
body."
dead. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that's
Yeah,
I
I know.
Carl doesn't cry, or Carl got killed. Sorry. I don't know.
I don't know what they want. I think that's a mix. I think they
Yeah.
wanted to do with that, but I also think they did what Dave.
That's why I think it's a little messy because they didn't lean enough, in one direction.
Well, that's
But I still enjoyed it.
Seeing an Indian movie that's fairly Western was interesting because we're used to seeing Bahubali with dance sequences and
Just the most epic
crazy-ass
fucking
action
movie
stuff.
you've ever seen in
And
your life.
I kind of miss the Bollywood aspect of Indian cinema in this one. Like it doesn't fit in this movie, but I kind of miss that aspect of
What
it.
if he's murdering people? They just start breaking out in song as he's slashing people through the stomach. That would have been pretty sick, actually. I'm not gonna lie.
They didn't have like the jailer super slow motion scenes where he's just like standing there with like the wind blowing in his hair. I mean, they had a couple of those when he was
it was more just like
shirtless,
brutal,
like standing there like looking sweet and buff.
And but I think they intentionally made it that way so that you felt the brutality of his actions, and like
it's hard not to.
And like you're not watching it and being like, oh shit. I mean, okay, the action scenes are cool, but you're not like, oh, you just fucked that guy up. That's so awesome. You're thinking like, wow, that's fucked up. Like he's just slaughtering these dudes.
Yeah, it gets so gory that it's like squeamish.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take time to die.
Yep. Exactly.
Like they'll get hit in the stomach, they might get like whatever happened to them, but like they're still like on the side, like sore, and they
like
might get
twitching and
recruited,
fucking
back out,
yeah,
and they're still trying to fight, and Anywho, Kill, go watch it.
If you like
it lives up
movies,
to its name.
If I was gonna recommend an Indian film to somebody, like yes, I start with RRR just for like
can't go wrong
the
with
the bombacity of it. But something like this, if somebody was like, yeah, I love John Wick movies, I'm like, fucking watch Kill and seeing an Indian dude be John Wick for a little bit. It's easier to recommend than some. Like I couldn't recommend Bahubali to some people, but I could recommend this one.
And apparently
that water scene shit, I was done, dude. What? That's an hour into it. What are you talking about? Yeah, I know. It's some of those movies are too like romantic and dramatic and slow, but also stupidly epic.
The beginning
is like,
yeah, I don't know. The beginning of this one, my wife was eye rolling a little bit at like
it was
like
corny. I was like, what?
They would talk and like the music would come on, but I looked at her dead in the eyes and I said, "This movie has more production value and better acting than all of the Hallmark movies that you watch. Like, show some respect to Indian cinema."
Oh yeah,
like even I don't know, like it's definitely has that, like you said, soap opera-y like shine to it. It felt like a little bit like a Hallmark movie in the beginning, but fucking
quickly turns.
20 minutes in, it takes a turn. So
apparently, this guy that played Amrit Lakshaya, this was his film debut, feature film debut. Like he's done he's done some like TV work before that, but this was his first feature film, and I think he fucking blew it out of the water. He was great.
No problem. Was that, if anything, give me a mustache, dude.
Dude, yeah, man. We didn't really talk about we didn't really talk about the acting, but I didn't have a problem with the acting in this movie. Like you said, some of the stuff at the beginning was cheesy, but like I think overall the performances
To
of
contrast the rest of the movie, which is
yeah,
brutal.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, Fonnie was great. That guy's
uh,
such a smarmy asshole of a
Yep.
yeah,
evil villain.
good villain. But apparently this movie didn't do that well. We didn't really
No,
mention
I think they made $6
budget.
million bucks.
Yeah, it was
What made
looking it up. It was
Australia made 46.
cost 400,000, actually 400 million rupees, Indian rupees to make, which is about $4.6 million US dollars. And it
Wow, it's tight.
only made at the box office 470 million rupees, which is about 5.2 million US dollars. So they sort of
So they made
broke
up their
even.
marketing.
Small success.
Yeah. So
after you've put in all the marketing and stuff, probably not.
But yeah, I think this movie deserves some recognition, just for the fact that it is an action movie, but it's trying to do something a little bit different, and there's varying levels of success with everything it tries to do, but it's a fun watch overall.
Yeah. Thank you for the recommendation, Discord.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like I said,
Bring some more.
nomadsfantasy.com/Discord. We have a suggestions channel in our Discord that we always welcome any, game, movie, TV show suggestions. So keep them coming. But
Sweet. Bring it.
yeah, we'll wrap up here with talking about Kill. And after the break, a little break here, we'll come back with a little round of... It's a new game. It's called Movie Train Trivia. So that'll be...
Can't wait.
Yeah, that'll be right after...
Got my eyes trained on you.
Good. It's good. More of that right after this. And we are back after a little bricky break. I got a new game called Movie Train Trivia, and these are gonna be it's gonna be 5 multiple choice questions. I do have a tiebreaker, in case you guys end up tying, whatever. And if you tie after the tiebreaker, then just call it a tie. But anyways, this is Movie Train Trivia. There's going to be 5 questions, and they are all multiple choice questions about movies featuring trains. Okay, so we're on theme here.
We're on track.
Yes, we are on track for the train theme here. But like I said, it's going to be super simple. Quick 5 questions. Whoever gets the most questions right, wins. And obviously, like, you guys can pick the same answer and get it both right, and then if you end up tying, we'll go to a tiebreaker. But
Okay.
I guess we'll pick who go. I guess we'll pick who goes first. Number between 1 and
5.
10. I didn't even pick the number yet. All right, you still sticking with 5? Okay.
6.
It was 7. So
Yeah.
Dave.
Oh, blast
Dave, you get to
David.
answer. You get to answer first. Yeah. So you're both gonna answer the same questions. Like I said, if you pick the same answer, that's fine. But you are competing against each other.
Okay.
All right. Question number 1. In the movie Murder on the Orient Express, 2017,
Oh, no.
who plays the famous detective Hercule Poirot? I don't know how to say that. Poirot. I think it's Poirot. Is it A, Johnny Depp? Is it B, Kenneth Branagh? Is it B or C, Brad Pitt, or D, Daniel Craig? Have either
I
of
gotta
you
go
seen
first
this
here, huh?
film?
No, I have not.
No, but I've seen the thumbnail a million times.
Yeah, I remember
Amazon Prime.
seeing the trailers for it.
Wonder Woman's
and
in
looking.
this.
Yeah, yes, Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
I remember wanting to see this, but I never actually saw it.
I figured if Depp or Pitt were in it, I would have heard more about it because I don't really know much about it. Who is B Browning?
Yeah, Kenneth Branagh. I think it's It must be Branagh. It's Branagh.
What was he in? Any idea?
That's a good question.
What does he look like? I don't want to Google his name.
This
So it
movie.
might tell me.
He was in this movie.
I want to say all of the people I listed are in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're just trying to find out who is the detective Hercule Poirot.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's different because I didn't think 3 of these guys are in the movie.
Yeah, I only know who that one was in it.
All right. He sounds French. Fuck it. We're gonna go with. I'll go with A. Johnny Depp. Seems like he'd make a good French guy.
All right.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with B. Whoever Bernard was.
Branagh. Brandon, you would be correct. It was Kenneth
see?
Branagh.
I was thinking about
Yeah.
that too.
Apparently, he also directed the movie as well, but he starred
Oh.
and directed in Murder on the Orient Express.
In this scene, Gal Gadot and I have a sex scene, and I'm gonna film it and be in it. All right. So
Yeah, Daisy
not
Daisy
a Tarantino film.
Judi Dench, Johnny Depp, Daisy Ridley, Michelle Pfeiffer, Penelope Cruz,
all in
Josh
this movie.
Gad. They're
And
all.
This is the scene when
God
I have the
damn.
third orgy in the movie. Everybody, all right, good places. Like, could you imagine directing your own
Writing
movie
and
starring?
directing. Yeah, that's
Jesus
great.
Christmas! How do you
Tarantino
not
and
just do that?
Dusk Till Dawn.
Yep. All right, that's
Got
one
a
for.
Oh, yeah.
foot fetish.
Selma
And
Hayek's gonna
all
put
of
her
a
foot in
sudden-
my mouth.
Yeah. Oh, what a lucky accident that is.
Yeah, I know. I think people called him out for that too. Like, you put
Ugh,
that scene in there
gross.
for you to do it, and I'm like, man, what a slime ball.
He's probably
Good
still
movie,
cranking it to that to this day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for
he's
sure.
beating the feet.
All right, question number 2. Brandon is up.
Hey, it's in the movies.
Yeah,
That's why all
I mean,
the women have their feet close up to the camera because he's
it's
gonna
well-known
whack off.
fact that
Yeah.
Tarantino in defeat.
Sorry. Anywho,
Brandon's up 1-0. Next question number 2. In The Polar Express, 2004, what magical object does the boy receive at the end of the movie? A golden ticket, a bell from Santa's sleigh, a snow globe, or a toy train?
I don't know. Snow globe. I've not made it. I don't like this movie. This is a Zemeckis movie. I
Yeah,
hate
and it's
it.
with the
Every time
weird
I watch it,
Tom Hanks motion
soulless
capture.
animation in it.
Yeah.
It's boring. The kids.
This
are
was
boring.
revolutionary back in the day. It's like one of the first like movies they used like full motion capture for. Like first animated.
Not aged well.
Yeah.
There's that annoying kid
worse.
in it. That kid always bothered me.
Yeah.
I know
you said
exactly
Snow
what you're
Globe,
talking
Brandon?
I want snow globe. It's like
I know he
shot
gets
in
a
the dark.
ticket in the beginning.
Yep.
I think he steals a bell
Like,
in the
I think it's
middle
boring
of
thing to
it.
get at the end.
I'm gonna go with it's kind of lame, but I think it's a snow globe too. I'm gonna go with snow
Yeah.
globe.
It's either snow
You
globe
both-
or the
Both went with C, snow globe.
yeah.
Well, you're both wrong. I can't
Aw,
can't
is it
believe
bell?
it is a bell from Santa's sleigh.
Fuck.
You've never read the
Aw.
book either? Never read the book to
I
your
didn't even
to
know
your
there was a
kids?
book.
Yeah, it's based on a book.
I know it's based off. No. I'm
Yeah.
not into it.
The whole thing is like Santa gives them a bell at the end, and only those who like truly believe in Santa can hear the bell. So like he hears it, and then like he brings it home to his parents, and then like they can't hear anything. So, like whatever. It's lame. I don't love the Polar Express, but I thought you guys would know that having
You
children.
love it so much. Why don't you marry it?
No.
All right, so
Christmas is like, like Home Alone and stuff.
yeah,
like that.
I mean I don't like the
We're not
movie.
watching the Polar Express.
I don't like the movie, but I think
kids want to go to
I'm
bed.
probably more
Yeah.
I probably am more familiar with it because I want to say the book came out when like I was a kid or around that time. So
Yeah,
makes sense.
and you're at the age when it was
Right.
new and
I remember them reading it to us like in school, and we even took a field. Well, I didn't. I missed out on this, but took a field trip to the IMAX theater to see the Polar Express when it came out.
wow, you must have been.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, this
But
was
I
really
didn't.
good.
I didn't get to go, which was bullshit.
Oh, that's
but,
right. You didn't get to go.
But yeah, this was when I was like in 4th grade, 2004. Anyways,
Damn.
question number 3. In Unstoppable, 2010, Denzel Washington and Chris Pine must stop a runaway train. What type of cargo does the train carry? Chemicals, military weapons, oil, or explosives?
What was the number one?
Chemicals.
What year did this come out?
2010.
People are worried about chemicals, Dave. What do you think? I'm going chemicals.
Denzel Washington and Chris Pine.
Or
Denzel.
weapons. Weapons of mass destruction.
I don't remember hearing about this movie, but I do like Denzel and Chris Pine
Yeah.
both. So
Yeah, I've never
seems like
heard
it
of
would
this
be
movie.
a good one.
This movie I want to
I'm-
actually watch because it sounds sweet.
I'm gonna go with the classic explosives because I
Ooh,
mean
good.
that seems like your standard stop the train before it gets here and blows everybody up at the train station thing.
That
So
sounds
I'll
like a
go-
90s plot to me, though. I feel like in the
Yeah.
90s, there's explosives and they're going to South Detroit. You know, this is like the 2010s. There's like, they've got chemicals, biological warfare. They could release this to the public. You know, like
T-Virus.
Mhm.
that's my reasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
All
Well,
right.
Eric,
Final
what is
answers.
it?
Yep.
Dave, you want explosives? Brandon, chemicals? It is A, chemicals. Brandon is
Oh,
up.
come on.
Brandon's up
Yeah.
2-0.
Damn it.
It's based on a real-life CSX incident telling the story of a runaway freight train and two men who attempt to stop it.
Oh, it's based on a true story.
Based on a true story, yeah.
And is it
It's
drama
just
or
some
is it action?
chemicals. What can go wrong? There's a couple chemicals.
Apparently, it was like some super deadly toxic chemical that if it spilled, it would it would have ruined. I don't know. Like if it spilled into the water, it would have
Okay.
been bad, very bad.
Watch the beginning of it and let us know if it's of quality and if it's
Dude,
worth,
it sounds
doing.
fun, and
Denzel
I do love
he's
Denzel.
always a good actor. Yeah,
Yep.
he's always a good actor in everything he does. So
All right, Brandon's
okay.
up 2-0. Question number 4. In Train Spotting, 1996, what
love
city
this one.
does the story primarily take place in? London, Edinburgh, Glasgow, or Dublin?
Glasgow or what was the last one?
Dublin.
Oakland.
I know Dave's a big Train Spotting guy.
I do. I do want to make you guys watch these movies. I still haven't seen the second one, which I'm kind of disappointed in myself for having not done that. But I don't know. I love the message of this movie. Yes, it's fucked up. It's about druggies, but
The question
There
is,
is a re-
do you know
there
what
is a redeeming
city
quality.
it takes place in?
I'm gonna say Edinburgh.
All right. Brandon, what say you?
Where is Edinburgh?
It's in
In
Europe.
England, I think. Yeah.
England? I thought this was
on Earth.
Scottish. So Glasgow?
Oh no, I'm so wrong. It's the capital of Scotland. Edinburgh is.
Okay, then I'm going with Edinburgh because Dave likes this movie and I'm going to trust him.
That's a good tactic. Because you're
That's why I
both
asked.
right.
Ah, boo.
I knew it was Scotland because it's written with a Scottish accent, so it's even hard to read. I tried.
The
My
book-
my
the
buddy
book
was reading
is-
this. Dude, have you read this book? I'm like, this is fucking brutal. I'm like, wow.
How do you
this is
read
a whole
this shit?
book.
Like you have
Yeah.
to read it phonetically. I read the book too. and
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, you gotta read like a
Sounds
Scot.
like torture. I'd rather
gotta
listen to the
sound
audiobook.
it out when you're reading this book.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Brandon technically wins here, but
3-1. Yeah. Technically, yes.
Cheating off of
There's
my
no way
sheet.
to catch up. But we'll do the final two just because they're
Yeah,
quick and
please.
fun. In Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, what is the main conflict on the train in the movie? A treasure hunt gone wrong, a Nazi ambush, a race to steal a rare artifact, or a spy mission?
Hey,
what
Brandon
was it?
says a treasure hunt gone wrong.
Yeah, it's A.
It's A.
Mhm.
I can picture the whole sequence in my head.
According to my sources, it is C, a race to steal a rare artifact. Young
Oh,
Indy,
man.
played
Okay,
by River
correct.
Phoenix, discovers a group of grave robbers who found the cross of Coronado. Indy believes the artifact belongs in a museum and attempts to take it from them.
Eric, you gotta see
Yeah,
that fucking movie.
I just thought that they were treasure hunters, and that's what got him to be treasure hunter because
Okay.
what they were willing to do. They were willing to kill. They tried killing Kid Indiana
Hey,
Jones
don't
on the
spoil.
set.
No spoilies.
Yeah, kid busts out a fucking knife and he starts like swinging it at him, trying
It's like
to
the
kill him.
first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, because every Indiana Jones starts off with an action packed opener.
Got it.
And yeah,
I started watching Raiders, like just threw it on one
Fridge.
night because I was in an indie mood and I was enjoying it, but I fell asleep very quickly. But I definitely
Mine's a little
want to.
slower.
I definitely want
all right.
to.
Well, that sucks that
watch
we got that wrong. But anywho,
It's
can see
fine. It was a weirdly worded question.
I didn't know
weirdly
it was a
worded
race
answers.
to get. I didn't know there was a race to get it though. They were just like they found it, and he said that's bullshit.
He was
They
trying to
shouldn't be
steal it
stealing
back. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, last one, which this movie sounds sweet too. I've never heard of it, but in Source Code 2011, which actor portrays Captain Coulter Stevens, who repeatedly experiences the same train explosion as part of a military experiment?
I'll tell you right now. Dave, have you seen this movie?
You've seen this one, Brandon?
I don't think so.
Is it good? Because the plot makes me want to see it. It's the premise.
Yeah, it's good. It's he's the dude from
without reading the choices, you know this one?
yeah, it's he was in Donnie Darko. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes, it is Jake Gyllenhaal. The choices were
it's a good sci-fi movie.
the choices were Ryan Gosling, Michael Fassbender, Jake Gyllenhaal, or Joseph Gordon-Levitt. But yes,
if you've
Jake
watched
Gyllenhaal is correct.
Live Die Repeat or whatever, that Tom Cruise movie where he keeps repeating.
I love that movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah, if you like that, then you would like this train because it's the same thing. There's something on the train that's causing a repeat. He's
That's
the only
cool.
one that
I like that.
So it's
premise.
happening to him, so he has to solve it. And it has an ending to it that's just like, what the fuck? So, kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It might be a good movie, honestly. If I think looking back on, it, maybe it's a good one.
Source Code, yeah,
Good sci-fi.
That one sounded cool. There should be more movies about trains. There was a question that I had that was like, in the movie Snowpiercer, what was the name of the train? Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer?
Yes.
Oh yeah, because that's what they're on. That's weird because it's the world's gone completely cold and frozen.
Yeah, it's like
And
post-apocalyptic.
all of humanity's stuck on a train or on trains, but this one train, the elite rich are in the front,
like a class
and all
system,
the poor people are in the back. But it's more artistic when you watch. It's more artistic because it makes not a damn sense. It's really kind of stupid when you.
I've heard the show is pretty good. There's like a series.
Okay,
also.
I saw a little bit of the show and it was pretty decent.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That might be. Yeah, I mean, they had to kind of get a lot of that in a 2-hour.
The premise is really cool. I like the premise a lot. You know, post-apocalyptic frozen wasteland. Everybody who survives lives on this fucking train that never stops. Yeah.
There's a scene where like somebody gets like banished, and like what they do to banish somebody is they stick their head out the window and they freeze to death. Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't put Bullet Train on this. Did you guys see that movie? The Brad Pitt
I have
movie?
not seen that one.
I do want to see that.
Fun. Just a fun movie.
I thought about that one. And also Train to Busan also I've heard is pretty good.
I want to watch that. It's supposed to be really good with the zombies.
Yep.
I've seen a couple movies with trains like Under Siege 2 train movie.
Never heard.
Remember?
Oh.
That's a good one.
It's
Steven Seagal, baby.
Seagal, yeah.
Steven Seagal on a train. Yep.
Dude's fucking
I think
nuts.
there's something else I'm thinking of that was there, but anywho, we can wrap it up. Yeah, that was cool. Trains
are cool, man.
Who would have thunk?
Ride more trains.
Really? Not
well, I feel like there is a subgenre here of like movies on trains, bad shit, movies people trapped on trains, and also in a similar vein, planes. You know, movies about planes and being trapped on a plane and shit's going down on a plane.
Ooh, I like that theme. That'd be cool.
There's lots of those.
And on our website, we can, because our website's designed to be like Netflix, so there's categories, so we could have one train movies, and if you get enough of them, keep an eye out for that.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
There you go. But yeah, we'll wrap it up here. That was a fun conversation. Definitely recommend. If you're interested at all, if you like action movies, I think you'll like Kill. But
Absolutely.
if you want to, follow us on what we're going to be doing next, which I believe is, we said it was going to be a catch up, and then after that, it is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
A video game.
Yes.
And it's great.
Yes.
Deserves its own episode.
I'm excited to finish that. I gotta get on that. So next week is gonna be my time to finish that baby up. But I'm excited to talk about that one because I think there's a lot to talk about, and I'm gonna be in a very Indiana Jones movie. Maybe I'll even watch The Last Crusade before we talk about it.
I'm a little jelly.
Yeah, I'm definitely in an indie mood with whenever I play that game. So.
And you're gonna love that game. I love that movie.
Yeah, so I'm excited to talk about some indie, but in the meantime, you can follow us in all of our shenanigans. Just go to the nomadsoffantasy.com to find all of our links there. Whatmapgame.com, that's still going if you want, daily game, get some video game maps. Nomadsoffantasy.com/Discord, of course, is the best place to find us and get in touch with us. Give us movie suggestions. Just shoot the shit about games, movies, whatever you want. The Bills losing in the AFC Championship game. No, we don't have to talk about that. We'll just, but anyways, I don't know. I blanked out on the outro, but until next time.
Safe travels, nomads.
Thank you.